Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. We'll start with Radha Madhav. Jayo Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giravardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giravardhari Shodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana Shodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiruvanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyan Anjana Shalakya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapad Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathamitam Tam Sajim Sadhvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sutadevi Pranmami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrupehascha Kirpa Sindhubevacha Paditana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Siddharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Grim Yat Kirpatam Homandashi Guru Ditaran Paramananda Madham Shittaneshram Hari Om Tassat Narayan Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Madhuriyat Nasta Prasya Abdureshu Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nestiki Hare Krishna. So thank you for joining. We're starting chapter 9 today, and it's a beautiful chapter as always. And we talk about Bhishamdev, a very great personality. He's the grandsire of Mahabharata, of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. You know, he's the elder, the eldest, the wisest person there, and Krishna wants him to be glorified for that. So we'll have a look at the breakdown of the verses. So, has that come through?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we're looking at the passing away of Bhishamdev in the presence of Lord Krishna. So, in verses 111, they talk about Bhisham welcomes everyone assembled at his deathbed according to time, place, and circumstances. So 1 to 4, Pandavas, Krishna and sages go to meet Bhishamdev. 5 to 8, great souls from all over the universe assembled to see this great personality. And verses 9 to 11, Bhisham welcomed all, worshipped Krishna, affectionately spoke to Pandavas, even in this situation. Bhishamdev pacifies and encourages the Pandavas. So 12 to 13, sympathizes with their suffering, influence of irreversible time. 16 to 17, accept Lord's inconceivable plan and follow it. So this is what Bhishamdev tells them. Bhishamdev glorifies Krishna's position as Supreme Lord. Krishna is original Narayan, inconceivable, understood only by Mahajans. And 21-23, Krishna has faultless qualities. Bhakti Yoga reveals him and delivers the devotee. And 24, may he wait for me at the time of my death. And 25 to 28, for various dharmas and purushas with historical examples. 29 to 31, Visham's final moments. Seeing the auspicious moments, he withdraws his mind from other subjects, matters, and fixes it on Krishna. And 32 to 43, Bhisham Dev's praise to Lord. So that's verses there to glorify the Lord. Let my mind focus on Krishna's Partha Sarathi form and his activities, because that's his relationship with Krishna in chivalry, in the rasa of chivalry, and he worships his Partha Sarathi form. And that's what he wants to see at time of death. Honoring Bhishamdev's departure and the events thereafter. 44 to 46. Celebration by demigods and performance of funeral rites by Yudhishthir. Sages glorify Krishna and return. 48 to 49, Yudhishthir, after consoling his uncle and aunt, ruled according to Dharma. So I guess here, uncle and aunt means Dhritarashtra and his wife, Gandhari. Excuse me. So that's the breakdown of the chapter. We'll have a look at verses 1 to 5 today. So, verse 1, Suta vacha iti bita parjadrohat sarvadharam vivitsaya tato vinashanam pragad yatra deva vrato patat. So, Suta vacha, Sri Suta Goswami said, iti thus bita, being afraid of, parjadrohat, because of killing the subjects. Sarva, all dharma, acts of religion, vivitsaya, for understanding, tatha, thereafter, vinashanam, the place where the fight was held, pragat, event, yatra ve, deva vratha, Bhishamdev, aptat, lay down for passing away. So Suta Goswami said, being afraid for having killed so many subjects on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthira went to the scene of the massacre. Bhishamdev was lying on a bed of arrows about to pass away. It couldn't be easy, after all this massacre for so many weeks, and then having to revisit that place. You want to get away from it as far as possible. But then having to go there, because Bhishamdev is still there, is still conscious, and they have to conclude that, so I have to keep going back there. It cannot be easy. In this 9th chapter, As it is willed by Lord Sri Krishna, Bhishmadev will impart instructions to King Yudhishthira on the subject of occupational duties. Bhishmadev will also offer his last prayer to the Lord on the verge of passing away from this mortal world and thus become liberated from the bondage of further material engagements. Bhishmadev was endowed with the power of leaving his material body at will, and his lying down on the bed of arrows was his own choice. This passing away of the great warrior attracted the attention of all the contemporary elites, and all of them assembled there to show their feelings of love, respect, and affection for the great soul. So he was such an amazing personality that he attracted so many other great souls towards him. So Bhishmadev was pierced with so many arrows. It was painful for Arjuna as well doing this. So obviously Bhishmadev was in pain, but Arjuna also felt a lot of pain for doing that to his grandsire. He had a lot of love and respect for him. His childhood pastimes are with Bhishmadev, asking so many questions and amusing Bhishmadev with his innocent questions. And now he's have to, not just hitting one arrow with so many arrows that there's no space left on his body. So Bhishmadev by so many people may have been seen as the enemy fighting against the Pandavas, but Lord Krishna wanted to clear that misconception by letting him advise Yudhishthira on the codes of Dharma, that he was truly a great soul. So that was another reason why Krishna wanted to glorify Bhishma, that people don't misunderstand him, that he truly was a great soul. He was duty bound, that's all. It's just that he had made a managerial vow to look after Hastinapur as a priority to give anything else. He knew the art of dying so that we would never have to die again. He had the option of dying at will, but he wanted to wait for Krishna, because just by seeing Krishna at the time of death, he would be freed from material birth and death. He attracted all the great souls who are present with him there by his side. So live, learn, love, leave a legacy. So we should learn to love and leave a legacy. We have all come into this world to live. We take birth and we live a life. But in order to live a successful and purposeful life, we have to learn how to live our life. This is Srila Prabhupada explains. We can learn this from great devotees, from the scriptures, how to live a life, how to live a glorious life, which is different from the other species. Also learn how to achieve the ultimate goal, which is love. It's all about the love. At the end of the day, it's not about peace, it's not about prosperity. It's the final goal is love. Without love, nothing else is that important. Love of the Supreme and everything in relation to Him. Then we can leave a legacy. Greatest personality leave the greatest legacy. For example, Srila Prabhupada's legacy will be there for next 10,000 years. So we have recent examples of great personalities also. So in 9.2, Tadate bhratra sarve sadashavihi svarn bhushitahi anvagachan rathe vipra vyasadhom yadayas tatha. So tada, at that time, they all of them, bhratraha, the brothers, sarve altogether, sat ashvahi, drawn by first class horses, svarn, gold, bhushitahi, being decorated with, anvagachan, followed one after another Ratahi on the chariots, Vipra of Brahmanas, Vyas the sage, Vyas, Domya, who's Domya, Adaya, and others, Tatha also. So at that time, all his brothers followed him on beautiful chariots drawn by first-class horses decorated with gold ornaments. With them were Vyas and rishis like Domya, the learned priest of the Pandavas, and others. So the kings always took advice from the Brahmanas. So they gave very good advice according to time, place, and circumstance. The king carried out the instruction after taking advice. Dharma Rakshata. Yeah, so Brahmanas were always important. They are included in everything, in all the processes. So we'll go to 3. Bhagwan api viprasche rathena sadhananjaya sate vyarachat nirpaha kuvera iva guha kahi. So Bhagwan, the person of Godhead, Shri Krishna, api also, Vipra Rishi, O sage among the Brahmanas, Rathena on the chariot, Sa Dhananjaya, with Dhananjaya Arjun, and Sa he Tahi by them, Vya Rochat, appeared to be highly aristocratic, Narpaha, the king Yudhishthira, Kuber, the treasurer of the demigods, Eva, as Guyakahi, companions known as Guhayakas. So a sage amongst the Brahmins, Lord Shri Krishna, the personality Godhead, also followed, seated on a chariot with Arjun. Thus King Yudhishthira appeared very aristocratic, like Kuber, surrounded by his companions, the Guhayakas. So Lord Shri Krishna wanted the Pandavas to be present before Bhishma Dev in the most aristocratic order, so that he might be pleased to see them happy at the time of death. He wanted to see them opulent, happy, joyful, and they look like kings, royalty, because that's what he wanted for them. They were spent so much time in the forest. It was very ordinary people, whereas they were rightful heirs to the throne and the kings and royalty, that they had the right. Kuber is the richest of all demigods, and herein King Yudhishthira appeared like him, like Kuber, for the possession along with Shri Krishna was quite appropriate to the royalty of King Yudhishthira. He's the emperor of the world, and this is what Bhishma they wanted to see, so they want to show him that. So Lord Krishna made sure the Pandavas go to see Bhishma in all opulence. So Bhishma there will feel happy for them. He was their well-wisher. He always wanted best for them, because ultimately this is what he wanted for them. He wanted them to get what was rightfully theirs. They would be better rulers than the Kauravas. They were righteous. They were saintly kings. So Srila was particular about presentation, dressed like Vaishnavas. So for us, Prabhupada wanted that we should be dressed appropriately as well, according to our identification. But dressed like Vaishnavas, and what we should wear. We have Shatilak. We are ambassadors of Mahaprabhu, of the previous Acharyas. So we should behave like ambassadors, and we should dress like ambassadors. We are representing the parampara, the Guru parampara, and we should look the part. So Bhishma and Drona thought they are maintained by the money of Duryodhana. This was the problem. And this is what we were discussing last time. Now that he is in danger, have to protect him. So Duryodhana was, because they were maintained by him, he was their master. We have to protect him. If we switch sides, it would seem very ungrateful that we're not grateful for everything he's done for us. So they were thinking from a materialist point of view. When you are provided with by somebody who is too materialist, then that will also affect you. You will also become materialist. So if you eat food cooked by people with materialistic consciousness, your mind becomes impure, materialistic. So these two personalities were eating the grains cooked by Duryodhana. That's why they could not side with Dharma. That's one reason Srila Prabhupada is given for why Drona and Bhishmadev, who were very, very wise, very, very knowledgeable, and they understood Dharma, they followed Duryodhana for these reasons. When Bhishma started to advise Yudhishthira on Dharma, Draupadi intervened that Bhishma, where was your Dharma when I was being disrobed? Because he didn't help her. Bhishma responded that at that time I was eating Duryodhana's grain, but that contamination is now gone, with all the blood which has been drained by the piercing of the arrows. So all the blood that was made by eating the grains of Duryodhana has now, left his body. So he is no longer contaminated with that blood, reinstating me in my purity. So now I can speak on Dharma or Dharam. Please forgive me, for I could not speak at that time, because he was maintained by Duryodhana, and his blood rushing in his veins was contaminated with the grains of Duryodhana. So that is the justification. So as devotees, we have to be very careful. The consciousness of the cook is transferred through the fire into the grains that we eat. It's why it's recommended that we eat prasad mainly. Once it's been offered, then it's purified, it's merciful. Drishtva nipatitam bhūmeyo divas achyutam iva param iva maram prenemu pandava bhishamam sanukaha saha chakrina. So Drishtva, the seeing, nipatitam, lying down, bhuma, on the ground, divaha, from the sky, achyutam, fallen, evil like, amram, demigod, prenamu, bow down, pandava, the sons of Pandu, bhishmam, unto Bhisham, sa anugaha, with the younger brothers, saha, also with Chakrina, the Lord carrying the disc. So seeing him, Bhisham, lying on the ground, like a demigod fallen from the sky, the Pandav, King Yudhishthira, along with the younger brothers, and Lord Krishna bowed down before him. So Lord Krishna was also a younger cousin of Maharaj Yudhishthira, as well as the intimate friend of Arjun. But all the family members of the Pandavas knew Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord, although conscious of his supreme position, always behaved in a humanly custom. And so he also bowed down before the dying Bhishmadev as if he were one of the younger brothers of King Yudhishthira. Amazing. So the Lord always kept the relations. He was not looking at that I am from a spiritual point of view, from a material point of view as well. He was doing all the necessary customs and rituals that the Pandavas were doing. So he was following as a relative. So Lord bows down to Bhishma just like the Pandavas. He is family and cousin brother to the Pandavas. So he prefers to act as a younger brother rather than show his authority as the Supreme Lord. Because Krishna doesn't want to show his authority. He's looking for love. He wants to give love. He wants to take love. That is the whole essence of Krishna consciousness, to have a loving relationship. He doesn't want too much awe and reverence, and he's not looking for authority here. He wants to be on level with with his cousins. There is no arrogance in the Lord. He is Bhagwan, full of 6 unlimited opulences. beauty, strength, knowledge, wealth, fame, yet he is renounced, that being his sixth opulence. So it's not, saying like I am more stronger, I'm more richer, and why should I bow down to anyone like that? He's completely renounced of these opulences, and that's what makes it great, because this is all we have any of these opulences, little speck of it, and we become very puffed up. Where Krishna is, is unlimited, his form is unlimited, and his opulences are unlimited, and his enunciation is also unlimited. And finally, text 5. Trattaparam rishya sarve devrishyascha satama rajrishyascha tatrasan drishtum bharat pungavam. Tatra de brahma rishis among the brahmanas, sarve all, dev rishi among the demigods, cha and sattam, situate in the quality of goodness, raj rishi among the kings, cha and tatra in the place, asan were present, drishtum just to say, Bharat the descendants of King Bharat, pungavam the chief of. Just to see the chief of the descendants of King Bharat, Bhisham, all the great souls in the universe, namely the rishis amongst the demigods, brahmins and kings, all situated in the quality of goodness, were assembled there. So the rishis are those who have attained perfection by spiritual achievements. Such spiritual achievements can be earned by all, whether one is a king or a mendicant. Bhishamdev himself was also one of the Brahm rishis and the chief of the descendants of King Bharat. All rishis are situated in the quality of goodness, all of them assembled there on hearing the news of the great warrior's impending death. So the sages from all over the universe had gathered to say farewell to Bhisham. Everyone knew his glories. They came in their thousands. They were all Bhisham's guests. How will he welcome and receive all these guests? So it's about time, place, circumstance. He cannot receive them like he would normally if he was upright and healthy. He would receive him a different way, but now he's in the middle of a battlefield, lying on a bed of arrows, so he can only receive them according to his circumstances. I can't do all of that. Maybe we can have a look at one more verse. We have some time. We can look at one more verse. I think this might be a long verse. Actually, it's 2, 6 to 7. It's quite a long verse. Let's have a look anyway. So 6 and 7. Parvato narado domyo Bhagwan Bhadarayanha Brahadashvo Brahadvajya Sashishyo Renuka Sutta Vashishta Indra Pramadas Trito Gritsamadosita Kakshivan Gotamo Trishcha Koshikotha Sudarshanaha. So Parvat Muni, Narada, Narad Muni, Domya, Bhagwan, incarnation of Godhead, Bhadrayanaha, Vyasdev, Brahadeshva, Bhradashav, Pradivija, Bhardwaj, Sashishya along with disciples, Renuka Sutta, Parshuram, Vashishtaha, Vishisht Indra Paramadaha, Indra Paramadam, Indra Paramada, Trita, Gritsamadaha, Asita, Kakshiman, Gautam, Atri, and Koshik Atha, as well as Sudarshan. So all the sages like Parvat Muni, Narad, Domya, Vyas, the incarnation of God, Brihitashva, Brihdavaj, and Parshuram, and disciples, Vashisht, Indra Paramad, Trita, Gritsamad, Asita, Kakshiman, Gautam, Atri, Kaushik and Sudarshan were present. So Parvat Muni is considered to be one of the oldest sages. He is almost always a constant companion of Narad Muni. Okay, so he accompanies him. They are also spacemen competent to travel in the air without the help of any material vehicle. So, okay, so Parvat Muni and Narad Muni, they are good friends, they're close, and they accompany each other wherever they go, and he can also travel like Narad Muni. So Parvat Muni is also a Devrishi or a great sage amongst the demigods like Narad. He was present along with Narad at the sacrificial ceremony of Maharaj Janamajaya, son of Maharaj Parikshit. In this sacrifice, all the snakes of the world were to be killed. Parvat Muni and Narad Muni are called Gandharvas also because they can travel in the air singing the glories of the Lord. And as we discussed, Narad Muni has been a Gandharva in his previous life as well, and he is always singing. He was singing the glories of the Lord. At one time, that's what got him into trouble, but that's what he does best. Since they can travel in the air, they observe Draupadi's somber ceremony selecting of her own husband from the air. Like Narad Muni, Parvat Muni also used to visit the royal assembly in the heaven of King Indra as a Gandharv. Sometimes he visited the royal assembly of Kuber, one of the important demigods. Both Narad and Parvat were also in trouble with the daughter of Maharaj Srinjaya. Maharaj Srinjaya got the benediction of his son by Parvat Muni. Okay, so I think that's a pastime. I think I've heard it. But anyway, Narad Muni is inevitably associated with the narrations of the Purans. He is described in the Bhagavatam. In his previous life, he was the son of a maidservant, but by good association with pure devotees, he became enlightened in devotional service. And in the next life, he became a perfect man, comparable with himself only. In the Mahabharata, his name is mentioned in many places. He is the principal Devrishi, or the chief sage among the demigods. He is the son and disciple of Brahmaji, and from him the disciplic succession in the line of Brahma has been spread. He initiated Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, and many celebrated devotees of the Lord. He initiated even Vyasadev, the author of the Vedic literature. So what amazing disciples that Narad Muni has. All the top disciples are his. And from Vyasadev, Madhvacharya was initiated, and thus the Madhva Sampradaya, in which the Gaudiya Sampradaya is also included. So this is us, this is our lineage, has spread all over the universe. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu belonged to the Madhva Sampradaya. Therefore, Brahmaji, Narad, Vyas down to Madhva, Chaitanya and the Goswamis all belong to the same line of disciplic succession. Naradji has instructed many kings from time memorial. In the Bhagavatam, we can see that he instructed Prahlad Maharaj while he was in the womb of his mother, and he instructed Vasudev, father of Krishna, as well as Maharaj Yudhishthira. Domya, a great sage who practiced several penances at the Utkochak Tirath, and he was appointed royal priest of the Pandav kings. He acted as a priest in many religious functions of the Pandavas. So, a great sage practiced several penances and appointed royal priest of the Pandav kings. So it seems like because Kirpacharya is no longer, I think he's on the run as well. He had to leave. And I think they wanted him to stay actually. He did stay for a while, didn't he? At least for the youngest, I'm not sure. But anyway, it says here that he was appointed royal priest now. And Pandavas were, and also each of the Pandavas were attended by him at the betrothal of Draupadi. He was present even during the exile of the Pandavas and used to advise them in his extensive when they were perplexed. Okay, so yeah, he was there before. He instructed them how to live incognito for 1 year. So, okay, we're talking about Narad Muni. And his instructions were strictly followed by Pandavas during that time. His name is mentioned also when the general funeral ceremony was performed after the battle of Kurukshetra. In the Parv of Mahabharata, he gave very elaborate religious instructions to Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was actually the right type of priest of a householder. Sorry, yes, I'm just getting confused here. So it is Utkochak Tirat, that Domya practice at Tirat. So we talk about him. His name is mentioned also when the funeral ceremony was performed after the battle of Kurukshetra. In the Anushasan Parv of Mahabharata, he gave very elaborate religious instructions to Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was actually the right type of priest of a householder, for he could give the Pandavas guide the Pandav on the right path of religion. A priest is meant for guiding the householder progressively in the right path of ashram dharma, or the occupational duty of a particular caste. There is particularly no difference between the family priest and the spiritual master. The sages, saints, and Brahmins were especially meant for such functions. So this is the introduction to Domya Rishi, and is it's mentioned that he was an amazing guide and advisor to the Pandavas. So Badarayan or Vyasdev is known as Krishna Devpanya, Satyavati Sutta, Parasharat Amja, Badaranya Vedvyas, etc. He was the son of Mahamuni Prashar in the womb of Satyavati prior to her betrothal with Maharaj Shantanu. The father of the great general grandfather Bhishamdev, he is a powerful incarnation of Narayan, and he broadcasts the Vedic wisdom to the world. As such, Vyasadeva is offered respects before one chants the Vedic literature, especially the Puranas. Shukadeva Goswami was his son, and rishis like Vaishyampayan were his disciples for different branches of the Vedas. He is the author of great epic Mahabharata and the great transcendental literature Bhagavatam. The Brahma Sutras, the Vedanta Sutras, or Bhadrayan Sutras were compiled by him. Amongst sages, he is the most respected author by dint of severe penances. When he wanted to record the great epic of Mahabharata for the welfare of all people in the age of Kali, he was feeling the necessity of a powerful writer who could take up his dictation. And by the order of Brahmaji, Shri Ganeshji took up the charge of noting down the dictation on the condition that Vyasadeva would not stop dictation for a moment. So the Mahabharata was thus compiled by the joint endeavor of Vyas and Ganesh. Now you imagine these great exalted personalities, they're giving class, and we give them introduction. What amazing introduction this would be. By the order of his mother, Satyavati, who was later married to Maharaj Shantanu, and by the request of Bhishamdev, the eldest son of Maharaj Shantanu by his first wife, the Ganges, he begot 3 brilliant sons whose names are Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidur. The Mahabharata was compiled by Vyasadeva after the battle of Kurukshetra, and after the death of all the heroes of Mahabharata, it was first spoken in the royal assembly of Maharaj Janamejaya, the son of Maharaj Parikshit. So, Bridhashava, an ancient sage who used to meet Maharaj Yudhishthira now and then. First of all, he met Maharaj Yudhishthira at Kamyavan. This sage narrated the history of Maharaj Nal. There is another Bridhashava who is the son of the Ikshvaku dynasty. And Bhradvaj, he is one of the 7 great rishis and was present at the time of the birth ceremony of Arjun. The powerful rishi sometime undertook severe penances on the shore of the Ganges, and his ashram is still celebrated at the Prayag Dham. It is learned that this rishi, while taking bath in the Ganges, happened to meet Gritachi, one of the beautiful sighting girls of heaven, and thus his discharged semen, which is kept and preserved in an earthen pot, and from which Drona was born. Amazing. So Dronacharya is the son of Bharadvaj Muni. Others say that Bharadwaj, the father of Drona, in a different person from Maharishi Bharadwaj. He was a great devotee of Brahma. Once he approached Dronacharya and requested him to stop the battle of Kurukshetra. So Parshuram or Renukasuta, he is the son of Maharishi Jamad Agni and Srimati Renuka. Thus he is also known as Renukasuta. He is one of the powerful incarnation of God, and he killed the Kshatriya community as a whole 21 times with the blood of Kshatriya. He pleased the souls of his fathers. Later on, he underwent severe penances at the Mahendra Parvat. After taking the whole earth from Kshatriyas, he gave it in charity to Kashyap Muni. Parshuram instructed the Dhanurved, or the science of fighting, to Dronacharya because he happened to be a Brahman. He was present during the coronation of Maharaj Yudhishthir, and he celebrated the function along with the great rishis. So Parshuram is so old that he met both Ram and Krishna at different times. He fought with Ram but accepted Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. He also praised Arjun when he saw him with Krishna, when Bhisham refused to marry Amba, who wanted him to become her husband. Amba met Parshuram, and by her request only, he asked Bhisham Dev to accept her as his wife. Bhisham refused to obey his order, although he is one of the spiritual masters of Bhisham Dev. Parshuram fought with Bhisham Dev when Bhisham neglected his warning. Both of them fought very severely, and at last Parshuram was pleased with Bhisham and gave him the benediction of becoming the greatest fighter in the world. And Vishishta's introduction, the great celebrated sage among the Brahmins, well known to the Brahmrishi Vishishtadev. He is a prominent figure in both the Ramayana and Mahabharata periods. He celebrated the coronation ceremony of the personality of God, Sri Ram. He was present also on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He could approach all the higher and lower planets, and his name is also connected with the history of Hiranyakashipu. There was a great tension between him and Vishwamitra, who wanted his Kamdenu, wish-fulfilling cow. Vishishta Muni refused to spare his Kamdenu, and for this Vishwamitra killed his 100 sons. As a perfect Brahman, he tolerated all the taunts of Vishwamitra. Once he tried to commit suicide on account of Vishwamitra's torture, but all his attempts were unsuccessful. He jumped from a hill, but the stones on which he fell became a stack of cotton, and thus he was saved. He jumped into the ocean, but the waves washed him ashore. He jumped into the river, but the river also washed him ashore. Thus all his suicide attempts were unsuccessful. He is also one of the 7 rishis and husband of Arundhati, the famous star. And I guess we're talking about the stars in the sky. Indra Pramad, another celebrated rishi. So Trita, one of the 3 sons of Prajapati Gautam, he was the 3rd son, and his other true brothers were known as Ekat and Dvit. So I think I'll leave it here. There's a bit more you can read yourselves. It's verse 6 and 7 on chapter 9, and let's have a little chat on this. Time is running away, but you can see, these exalted personalities. I mean, you got Vyasdev, he's incarnation of Godhead. You got Parshuram, we accept him as one of the 10 incarnations of the Lord also. And all these great sages, they all assembled to see Bhisham there. Amazing. And just to see what Srila Prabhupada says. So they were present there, Nard Muni, his friend Parvat Muni. They traveled together so many occasions, both considered Gandharvas, sing the Lord's glories. Dumya, royal priest, incarnation of God, Vashishta Muni. So everything I've said is one of the 7 rishis. Most of these rishis are from the time of Lord Ram. Amazing personalities, and they all respected Bhisham there. So just think that you have some great contacts. There's a lot of respect for you from in the community from such great people. So how great you are that these people look up to you. Right. So that was Bishop Dev. So I'd like to hear from Kiran Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Bhishma Dev, an amazing key character in the Mahabharata. And he was such an exalted individual that you can see that he was such an elevated soul that it was evident that even after he was pierced with so many arrows that no other arrows could go or penetrate through any others, he still remained on the bed of arrows for a lengthy period. I think it was 10 days.
Was it 10?
But I don't know, I can't remember.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking about Bishop Panchak. I don't know if that.
Yeah. But you can imagine he was such a powerful warrior, a powerful individual, that he was able to withstand the pain of such excruciating pain. And it goes to show that these people could choose the time of their death, the time of leaving their body. And as he lay on that field, the battlefield where 640 million warriors had died, Arjuna and Yudhishthira, after Krishna's instructions, fulfilled their duties and obligations. Bhishmadev knew exactly what was going to happen because he was loyal. He knew exactly that Krishna was the absolute truth. But he went along with his vows to protect Hastinapur. And in doing so, he knew that he was not on the side of the right, but he had to fulfill his duties and obligations. And he did so with the utmost grace. Draupadi said, "Why didn't you protect me? Why didn't you save me?" Bhishmadev clearly said, "At the time I was living in Duryodhana's palace. I was eating his food, his grains, and they were contaminated with negativity and so forth. And therefore, my responses to you were those of the environment that I was in." And so I think even Draupadi realized that, Bhishmadev could have, but he didn't. He was the eldest statement. He could have intervened, but didn't. But had he intervened, we wouldn't have had the surrendering of Draupadi to Krishna. But this is part of the Krishna Leela that we experience. And what happened is that the vows that Bhishmadev took were such strong and powerful, loyal vows. I think this should be an example to all of us, that when you make vows, you stick to them. Those vows are most powerful, and they will be able to take you through life with dignity. Do you trust a person who says something and does something else? You know, Putin is my friend and the next day he's his enemy. What did they tell you about statesmen of this era? Bhishmadev stuck to his guns. He stuck to his principles and to his values. And ultimately, there was the lessons of life. Live, learn, love, and that will give you a legacy. And Bhishmadev's legacy was about live, learn, because he was the greatest guru, or one of the greatest guru to the assembled warriors. But he had ultimate love for Krishna as well. So he went through with what was happening. And it just goes to show that at the time of death, or when you die, those with the greatest character will have the greatest the word said about them. The obituary, that's the word I was looking for. You know? And that obituary was that one of a great aristocrat, the one who was so opulent, and the one who was so magnanimous at death as well. And Krishna said to the Pandavas, we have to go and see Bhishmadev before he passes away. So befitting such a great soul, they went in a procession, bedecked with their best clothes, bedecked with their best chariots, bedecked with their best wishes. They went and paid their obeisances to Bhishmadev. Krishna paid his obeisances to Bhishmadev, almost like a mere mortal. Even though Krishna is the master of the universe, he was giving the example of how to engage and respect a person of valor, a person of character, and a person of absolute significance. And not only were these significant people there, but the demigods and all the sages were there, Narad Muni was there. And there was an example, there was an illustration that said, look at these people who were assembled there. All the sages who were there, and all the people that Narad Muni had given instructions or guidance to. And that we are a part of that parampara. We're a part of that lineage. So it goes to show that that link that came to pay their respects to such a renounced individual had all these renounced characters and individuals who came to bid farewell to Bhishmadev on his final journey as he left his body to merge with Godhead. The rishis knew that it was important to come, and Krishna and the Pandavas all came to give and pay their reverence and respect to such an amazing character in the Mahabharata and in the life of the Pandavas and in the life of the Kauravas as well, because this is about good and evil, good and bad, day and night, and demons and good people. Mode of ignorance and passion decide goodness will always prevail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. So nicely explained. Yeah. I was just thinking about the Pandavas. Even Krishna said that you people are so quick to take vows. I mean, Bhisham, their first vows, I'm going to stay brahmachari, I'm not going to get married. And he stuck to that. And then, his other vows that he took, he always stuck to them. He's fought Parshuram, he's fought the Mahabharata war, but he stuck to his, like I said, he stuck to his guns. Like that. And then you got like Arjun taking vows, I'm going to kill this personality, Bhim saying, I'm going to rip this personality. They always same family, same attitude, and they were, always taking a vow, and then they fulfilled it. And then it's Krishna's thinking, now they're taking a vow. My devotee has taken a vow. Now I have to make sure that that it's fulfilled as well, because obviously everything's sanctioned by the Lord, and then he would guide them, help them to fulfill that vow as well. So yeah, amazing. Thank you, Ravi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, and Hare Krishna to you as well. Yes, Bhishma means very grave, and his real name was Devrata, as we all know. So, his name had actually defined his personality. His first name was Devrata. Vrata means a vow, a promise, and now Bhishma is very grave. So he promised his father, he kept that promise, and that is when people in this day and age which we live, people will not be able to comprehend what are these big vows all about. And he was a disciple of Parshuram. Again, he was one of the 10 avatars of God. So he was the biggest, one of the biggest personalities of Mahabharata, of the clan, of the Kuru clan, of the Kuru dynasty, and amazing times he had seen. He had seen the rise and fall of his vansh, of his clan, and to have the Lord present in front of you when your Ichha, he had the benediction that he could die when he wanted to die. So how gloriously he lived and how gloriously he went away. And then we hear that Lord comes and pays obeisances to him. That is amazing. So he was, like they say, he was niyamagraha. He was bound with the niyams which were given to him by his gurus, and some which he took upon himself. So many lessons we will be learning from this chapter, and a lot of beautiful realizations will come through as we proceed through these verses. And it's said in Shastras that everyone who is approaching the final ashram of his life, before leaving this Mother Earth, they should leave something in writing, and that is their legacy. Like in material world, people like to leave the will, but that will, when that will be spent by the next generation, that will be all gone. Now it depends how they will be using that material side. But what is written as, or what is left as your realizations of, or your learnings in the form of writing, is going to affect not just your immediate children or immediate family, but it's going to affect the lives of many, and the ones who will learn from, those who learn from those learnings, they're going to have a domino effect. So lots of learnings we have from the Shastras all the time, and it is not possible for us to, follow each and every of them meticulously, but as long as we're following the core ones, we will be fine, because But once we are in the habit of reading and studying, and first of all listening, then meditating upon them, then applying them to our lives, so our lives are in good hands. We have to again thank Srila Prabhupada for this wonderful, wonderful gift of his purports, his books, his temples, and we can't thank him enough. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. And thank you, Prabhu. And yes, we are in good hands by joining this parampara and just the personalities that have come through this parampara, and it's nice to be to be connected to them and to guarantee our passage back home, back to Godhead. But we have to live up to their expectations as well. So thank you so much, Prabhu. We'll catch up again on Wednesday. Shri Granth Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai,
Srila Prabhupada
Pad ki jai.
Gaura Premanande. Hare Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.